Hello everyone, it's Nashi, the Conservative Gamer here. We are back. We're gonna make videos again, because it's dang fun. And Battle for Azeroth is coming. And I figured out how to actually record videos in good quality with my face here. Now, I don't know if you want to see my face all the time, and that's okay, but you should tell me that in the description box down below. But I'm here today because we're preparing for Battle of Azeroth. We made our new Nightborn elf, leveled him up all the way to max so we can get that cool armor set, and we made it a warlock. Now, we finally are gonna level up some professions today. We got our 2 professions for this character, our tailoring and inscriptioning. And today is all about inscriptioning and how to power level it. Before BFA drops or the pre-patch drops, right now you have an opportunity to get max of your profession. And today we're gonna do inscriptioning, and in my opinion, there are 2 really good ways of leveling this up, to around 700 or more. One, in my opinion, the best way, which is what we're gonna do today, is mass buying your Cerulean seeds, mass milling them, and then using them. You could either do it like this by trading in the ink vendor. As you can see, all these inks, except the 3 special ones, which we don't need to worry about, trade in for 1 Roseate Pigment. Now, you get 1 Roseate Pigment every time you mill 5 seeds. As you can see here, we're going to mill these seeds right here. Boom. And we got 1 Roseate Pigment for it. As you can see right here, we got 1. Now, sometimes you get more than 1. So basically, every time you use the mass mill, you'll get at least 4, sometimes 5. And on my server, the Roseate Pigments, they sell for about 15 gold on average, sometimes all the way down to 12. And the seeds themselves, right now are expensive because I kind of bought them all. But they generally go for a gold 50 or less per seed. So 5 seeds at a gold 50 is 5, 6, 7.5 gold, which is half of what this costs. So you could also use this as a money-making thing, but we're going to use them to trade them in to do the research of every level. So the first level of research, once we close this one, is the Moon Glow. And basically, about every Roseate Pigment, you get a point. So for every 1 Roseate Pigment, you get a point every time. And the reason we can do the research is because we get all the recipes from that section, and it levels it up 3 points at a time. By doing it this way, you get the maximum, you can get the maximum number of things for, the least complication. Now, if you have old Draenor mats, the other way of doing this is by using the research as well, but they have a research of their own. Cerulean pigments, by mass milling or milling all Draenor mats, are just this one thing. Now, you can mass make Warbinder's ink, which takes 2, so it takes 6 pigments per research. But this research also gives you all the previous things, just like the Cerulean seeds way of doing it, each one of these at a time, because about every 10 or so tries, so every 36 to 40-ish points, you get a new ink that you have to use to research. Now, you can just do the Warbinder's ink and level it up all the way, because that'll give you 3 all the way up until you get closer to 700. I think the best way is doing it with the seeds, because you can always sell your leftover Roseate Pigment or use it if you want to, because it trades in for everything here. So, I bought a ton of seeds. As you can see, my mass mill here is 167. So, we're gonna do this real fast, and yeah, fortunately it doesn't take that long. As you can see, you can see the Roseate Pigments going up. There we go. We'll be back when this is done.
A few moments later.
Alright, and we're back. As you can see, we also got a few Sallow pigments, which we can turn in our brand new quest of smashing herbs in there. Booyah. Ooh, get a class glyph. Ooh, we got Cliff of the Fell Imp. Okay, so basically what we're gonna do here is we are going to make, we're gonna do research one at a time here, just like this. Let's close everything else here. We're gonna close everything else. So what we have here is just the ink. So we're gonna talk to Jessica Sellers here. Oh, let me fender my junk. Okay, and we're gonna do 10 of these. So we're gonna buy 30. Boom, we got 30 inks. We're gonna craft 10 of these things. Oh, there's one. The Midnight ink, that's our next one. Alrighty. So we got a decent amount of things. So let's go ahead and buy 30 of the Midnight inks and do 10 of those as well. There's another glyph, another glyph. Generally, you get one almost every time. It's really easy to max them out. The easiest way to know if you got anything is after you've leveled up a decent amount to make I would say maybe, 25-ish Warbinder ink ones and try 10 or so of those, because if you keep getting them, then you know you haven't finished them all. Now, obviously, you can start doing this process early on, but it's really easy if you already have a 110 to max out everything, because all you have to do is do the very opening Legion quests for that profession, and then it gets you to max out at 800. Just like in WoW, where you can build the building or kill some mobs there and buy the item to level up to 700, so you're at 1 out of 700. It's just like that in Legion. So once you get to 110, everything is easy peasy. Just like other pre-patches, let's go ahead and buy the Jade Fire ink here. We're going to start doing 36 at a time. But just like the previous expansions, we need more. We need more paper. Let's talk to the panda and just buy a buttload of this stuff. 100 stack, 100 stack. There we go. That should be good for now. But just like previous expansions, I think that they're going to change the crafting system right before with the pre-patch. So the way the crafting system is going to work in BFA is every section of expansion, so to speak, has its own leveling system of like 1 to 75. I think this will translate over, but I'm not 100% certain. But either way, this is the best way to make a bunch of glyphs really fast, because, it is just super easy. And I'm going to keep doing this until I get to the maximum inks here and keep ranking this up. And we'll be back once I am all ranked up.
A few moments later.
Okay, now just to recap, if you do this with just Cerulean Pigment, the best part about it is that you can do it really easily with just 600 Cerulean Pigments is all you need. 600 of these is how you can make it, because basically you use you use all 600 to make 300 Warbinders inks, and then you make since you have 300 Warbinders inks, you make 100 Warbinders researches, and that generally gets you pretty much everything. The best way to finish leveling from about here is, the easiest way I should say, is by just crafting a bunch of these right here, the Tome of the Tranquil Mind. Now basically after 740, there are a lot of different ways to do it, but I would just suggest making glyphs and just putting them up on the auction house for the last little bit. Around 60 glyphs, or you can make your own Prophecy Tarot cards, do the quests, the world quests, to get some of the other recipes. If the Dark Moon Affair round is next time, make sure you get Dark Moon card of the Legion maxed out in rank, and make sure you get your Prophecy Tarot card maxed out in rank. There's a lot of different ways to do it, but really getting it to around 740, either way that I told you about in the beginning with the Cerulean seeds or the Cerulean pigments. Then afterwards, Tome of the Tranquil Mind, right here. You get this, it's only 1 Sallow pigment. It'd probably take you around 150-ish Sallow pigments. That's how you do inscriptioning. This is really the best way. If you think of any other ways or have any other tips, definitely put them down in the comments section to help other people, how you got past 620, 640-ish, or 740-ish rather, after the Tome of the Tranquil Minds. And maybe you have some funny stories. But really, there's no secret thing like there is, say, for engineering, which in my opinion is one of the easiest to power level with the Laystone Buoy. But next we're going to work on tailoring, and tailoring is going to be a little simpler. If you want it done in one day with no preparation, it's going to take some gold, but not too much gold, really. But if you give it a week, easily do it no problem in one day, gathering resources in a week through your WAD garrisons. But we'll be back again for tailoring. Thank you so much for watching. Nashi, that's me, the Conservative Gamer. We'll be back. I cannot wait for BFA. I hope you guys have fun too. Peace.